going to watch a video, review a video by Antonio Speaks / Antonio Talks regarding the Post Malone method. Now, Antonio has identified in his young life, he's only 24 years old, but this bright young man has identified the fact that a lot of white artists in America tend to start off with a black aesthetic and then quickly jump to a non-black aesthetic for popularity. A lot of us in the black community have noticed this before. I apologize for the little audio jump there as I cue up the video. But Antonio Speaks is a bright young man. Again, I think he has a lot to say. Great insight when it comes to stuff like this. Concerns himself with matters of race in a positive way. And I want to encourage everyone to head over to Antonio Speaks and Antonio Talks. Subscribe to his channels, hit the like button and all that good stuff. But let's hear what he has to say in particular about it.
So if I was a non-black person, specifically white, and I wanted to gain a lot of money, notoriety, fame, etc., right? There are two options that I would follow behind. Number one, I would find me a black person. It could be a friend or not a friend, right? But we basically gonna be in a partnership. In this agreement, I am going to take the highest profit of this money because I am going to be affected the most. But essentially what I would do is I would have my black friend come into my job, preferably something fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever, right? And I'll have like a decoy standing off to the side recording. And what'll happen is I'm going to tell the black dude to start an argument. And while in the midst of me trying to calm the black dude down, I'm gonna call him a slur, preferably the N-word slur. This is going to be caught on camera. Now the next step is very crucial. We gonna hit up all of these racist Twitter pages. We gonna hit up all of these big right-wing YouTubers, Hodge twins, all them type of dudes, and we're gonna tell them to post a video. We're then gonna come out and say that we got fired, because we probably would. And essentially we're gonna start a GoFundMe. Now this could go very good or it could go bad. As we have seen in 2025, man, multiple people have started GoFundMes because they were blatantly racist. I mean, millions of dollars. So that's my option, okay? It's kind of shameful, but hey. Now my second option would be way less risk, and it's simply the Post Malone method. Now you ask, what's the Post Malone method? It's basically cultural appropriation. Think of the artist Post Malone. He first gained fame in 2015 dropping his song White Iris. In this song, he was basically acting like a black American. Had the cornrows in, had the gold teeth, was dressing like a black person. Fast forward to 2026 and he's an entirely different person. Now this is a problem because with the
Now, before Antonio continues, let me just interject and say we saw this with the history of music in America, starting, to my recollection, with the 1950s. They used to cover black artists all the time. Elvis Presley is infamous. Pat Boone is infamous. Doris Day, infamous for covering / stealing black artists' music without compensating or crediting them. Pat Boone was an entire industry builder. Antonio is now putting this in modern terms as it comes to Post Malone. But this is actually the Pat Boone, Elvis Presley. And if you go do your homework and do your research, I'm sure you can find examples prior.
Post Malone method, all you're doing is just using black people in the culture to get ahead. Because it's like, why couldn't you start off with country music? I gotta admit this, man. As black people, I hate this about us. We are too accepting and anything impresses us. How many times have y'all been scrolling on the IG post, Instagram post, shit, even Facebook at times, and you see a white person that is, I guess, acting black? The comments are full of people inviting them to the cookout. And it's like, bro, these are the bare minimum things. Because think about it, y'all. Flip it over and you see a black person, you know, trying to do rock or pop or something like that. Even though those did start with black people, but I'm just using it as an example. How many times have we seen like a black person in rock and the white people in that situation are like supporting them and telling them, yeah, bro, you invited to the goddamn country club. You don't see that. In fact, they're going to get mad at you. Look at Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? Now on the screen right here, we have a few examples. Obviously Post Malone on the right, we just talked about him. I don't know who this guy is in the middle. Y'all can tell me who he is, but as you can see, chain, watches, braids, and now he's...
Look at Jelly Roll. Look at Jelly Roll over here. Long braids. Now he's countryed out with Lil Wayne tats on his face. It's crazy. They're doing, they go into the country space and still carry some of that with them though. The dude in the middle, I don't know who he is either. Maybe y'all can let us know in the comments, but I really don't know who he is. But I'm getting old, so I don't know who a lot of people are these days.
Country. And then Jelly Roll. I never knew this about Jelly Roll. I mean, I don't think Jelly Roll is a bad dude. I don't know much about him. But as you can see, bro, cornrows, he probably wasn't around a lot of black people. And now he's full on shit MAGA coded.
This that boy right here, I call him Junior, you know what I'm saying? They know him in the streets, Jelly Roll.
Look at Big Pun and Fat Joe. Look at Pun and Joe.
Stacks, get a bird for cheap. I know you heard of me. Come on, he's murder, and I will chop your ass up like it's a cheeseburger. Jelly, I'ma live it up. Jelly, I'ma live it up. I tried to draw my dick on a piece of paper, but the paper wasn't big enough, so give it up. Homie, you ain't talking about that. Woo!
Yes,
Bruh.
this is Jelly Roll. This is Jelly Roll with some braids, an iced out chain, and a 5X red tee, bro. This is when he was hanging with the naggas. I'm noticing a trend, right? Jelly Roll, Post Malone, Machine Gun Kelly, Kid Rock. They all started hanging with niggas.
Madonna, Pink. There's more. I can't remember. There's more.
All started their career off as rappers. And then once that failed, they go to either country or rock and roll.
Miley Cyrus.
They all use black American culture to get ahead in the music business. And once they are established, that's when they go to their true selves. They be using and abusing black Americans, bro. Heavy. You know who ain't do that? Paul Wall.
It's Paul Wall, baby.
I even throw in Everlast. At least they were consistent.
Now, this is the thing, too, y'all. I do understand that there are some white people that grew up in the hood. And this is why I explained that a lot of times you are just a product of your environment, right? So these white dudes that grew up in the hood, they, in a sense, adopt black American culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is when you use it as just a phase for you. Because what you will see is a lot of these white people, their bad phase is, I guess, cosplaying black American culture. So while they're in their early teens and late teens, they'll be around black people kicking it. And then as they grow out of that phase, that bad era, whatever you want to call it, they're around.
When they need a job, we ain't cool no more. I'm not saying that. I got white friends as well, especially back home. But I also had some white friends turn on me, man. Like, really cold in some cold ways where you're like, damn, we was cool in high school. Now you acting like you don't even know me. Some cold shit.
All white people, and that's just how I'm thinking with it. Now, I want to touch upon just the whole, and I honestly want to know why is a white person dancing or a white person singing some rap lyrics so exciting to black people? I am genuinely confused.
The desire that many black folks have to inviting white people to a cookout is a lot like the need that children have towards having a good relationship with a parental figure who has hurt them. Let me land. This came to me because I was watching a video by this white man who's a father, stay-at-home father, talking about his resentment towards other men who have all these hobbies, do all these extracurricular activities, because that's a sign that you're not there and you're not an active parent. The more muscles and hobbies you have as a dad, most likely the less present you are and the more of a burden you are to your female partner. This is obviously a point that many women have been trying to make to their husbands forever, but this man, and to men in general, but this man distilled it in a quick video. So people are all in the comments saying, fine, you can have a platform, fine, you can have a podcast mic. In the era of people saying ban men from podcasts, women are in the comment sections telling him he can have one. And I don't know if it was because he was talking about parenting, but it immediately struck me as being that same thing of when a child is desperate to reconnect to the parental figure who has been harmful to them, they are so eager to forgive them, they're so eager to let the past be the past. Because for some reason, even though that parental figure has harmed you, you still seek their approval. That invitation to the cookout and the invitation to have a podcast, while it's you giving approval to the white man or to the white person, it's really a mechanism for their approval because you're inviting them into your space. You're saying, fine, you can come, but you hope that they want to come into that space because it still validates that space. In fact, the invitation already presupposes that the white person wants to be at the cookout because that invitation wouldn't hold any water if they didn't. But why would they want to be at the cookout? Because they perceive it as something fun, interesting, worthwhile. Yeah, that is them validating the cookout as a place to want to be, meaning that people who invite white people to the cookout, while they're doing the inviting, it's still a validation mechanism of seeking approval from whiteness. The same way that kids who want to connect with harmful parental figures seek that same approval.
Hey, shout out to that sister, man. She broke it down perfectly. It all goes back to white approval. And on the surface, a lot of black people don't want to admit it, but they seek this. A lot of non-white people do. I'm glad that me personally, I never really saw things from this lens, but I could understand how a black person could. But please, stop sending out fucking cookout invitations. Stop calling these people white chocolate for singing a song. Like, I'm so tired of it. And look, we got a group of, that's a white man up there. He invited to the cookout. Oh my God. Bro, he's doing nothing but just driving his car.
Okay, Antonio. It's not to be taken that seriously, folks. I don't think we literally be inviting folks to the cookout as kind of, and I'm, cutting him some slack and ribbing him at the same time because what he's saying is we invite people into the culture. right? But the cookout is just a metaphor for inviting us into the culture. So if you can dance like a black person and you're white, it's probably because you've been around black people most of your life. You took the time to understand, or you got some, some DNA up in you. But what I'm saying is that black people can act like white people can act like black people. It's the oddity. It's the fact that they are the exception to the rule that makes them, that's what makes it exciting. If they were like everyone else, we wouldn't notice them, but we notice them because they have that skin color and that hair, but they're moving like us. Just like you would notice and do notice someone with my skin color and my hair moving like them, all right? And it's not like, there's no fluidity in between the two. There's plenty of fluidity. It's called Italians. Italians are like the bridge between whites and black folks. I swear they are. They like the niggas of white folks. I love you, Italians. Straight up. That was our man Antonio Speaks. He puts on a hell of a presentation on his YouTube channel. If you are not familiar with Antonio Speaks, make sure you head over to both of his channels, Antonio Speaks and Antonio Talks. Brilliant young brother out of South Carolina.